What is up, guys? This is Mateo's 2020 Politics here, and today... Oh, wow. I'm wearing a Bernie shirt. Well, I guess that just exposes my bias. But today, I will be reviewing the Iowa Caucus. So, as we all know, the Iowa Caucus was delayed. They were recounting the votes for 4 days straight. I was pretty upset because it was my first time in my whole life actually watching the Iowa Caucus live. And, the results were going to come in at 8. And it became 8. And it became 9. And then it became 10. I just got upset, and I was thinking, okay, you know what, they're a bit behind, but when I go to bed and wake back up at about 8, the results are probably going to be in. Guess what, I was wrong, because the results were not in the next morning, or the one after that, or the one after that, or one after that. It took 4 more days. It wasn't until the 7th that they were released. And I can't remember what day it was. I think it was the 4th of February, so like nearly one day after the Iowa Caucus, when they released about 62% of the results, and we had people who were judging the lead, Bernie in second, and then they kept climbing up throughout the next couple of days, and we were final results. So, the winner officially is Pete Buttigieg. I have the results right here. He won the delegate count, but Bernie Sanders actually won the popular vote, which is, once again, another reason why we have to abolish the system. We have Pete Buttigieg with 14 delegates, but he got 25.1% of the popular vote. Bernie Sanders has only 12 delegates, but he got 26.5% of the popular vote. So once again, Pete Buttigieg has 25.1% of the popular vote. Bernie Sanders has 26.5%. And the delegate count is, of course, 14, 12, respectively. Third place is Elizabeth Warren at 8 delegates, 20.2% of the popular vote. Joe Biden, I feel a bit bad for him, I'll tell you why in a sec. 6 delegates, 13.7% of the popular vote. And then Amy Klobuchar in 5th, 1 delegate, 12.2%. So, Amy Klobuchar's campaign has claimed that this is a 5-person race, and for the most part, I actually kind of agree with her in the sense that she, along with Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Pete Buttigieg, were the only 5 candidates to capture any delegates or win any counties in Iowa. Because after Amy Klobuchar in 5th place, it gets irrelevant. Because people like Tom Steyer and Andrew Yang were like 1%, everybody else was just below. Like, Michael Bennet and Deval Patrick literally had no votes whatsoever. So, yeah, once again, Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Amy Klobuchar were the only person to win any counties or delegates. Pete Buttigieg clearly won the most, followed by Bernie Sanders. Then Elizabeth Warren only won 1 county, but it must be the case that she got 2nd place in all the rest. It was, very close to winning in the rest, so it overall gave her 3rd place in both the popular vote and the delegate count. So I'm happy the results finally came in. I don't know if there's going to be a recount, honestly. There might be. I don't really think we need to do it because the problem was that the Iowa Democratic Party's issue was that their app, Shadow Inc., that they use for the vote reporting, was reporting the votes, but it just wasn't able to project it, live to the screen. And so they started doing it over the course of the next few days. As of now, it is February 9th. I kind of waited a bit to make a video until the results were actually finished. So that's why I wasn't making any videos about Iowa when the results were being counted, so I wanted to wait until the very end to review it all. So, how has this affected the candidates' polling, and has it affected their chances in New Hampshire? My answer to that is yes to both of them. Because as of right now, I'll give you a bit of a view. Joe Biden, he's of course the green, Bernie is blue, has absolutely crashed. He has crashed down. I mean, this is... So right now, it's updated to February 9th, and... So right here is February... Sorry, let me just find February 3rd. Here, that's February 3rd, right? Joe Biden is at 27.6%. And then, within 6 days, he drops by over 4 points. And that's significant because Bernie Sanders is currently at 22.7%, which means that he's 0.3% away from Joe Biden. Think about that. It's only happened in one time of the primary of 2020 history that somebody has surpassed Joe Biden in polling for the Democratic Party. And that person was Elizabeth Warren in let's see, early October for 1 day. 1 day. She passed him for 1 day and then went back down, and she just crashed for some reason. I don't even know why. But why has Joe Biden gone down? Joe Biden has gone down because he had a disappointing result in the Iowa caucus. That's why I feel bad for him, because he was polling in second place, and he was within a margin of error, which meant he technically could get first place. He had a high probability of that, but he didn't get second place. He didn't get first. He got fourth place. So my ring finger, I can't even move it because of my pinky. They're connected basically. So back to the topic. He got fourth place when he expected to get second, which does make me feel bad for him. And even at the debate stage a couple nights back, he said that he didn't do well in Iowa. He actually did do well compared to the rest of the candidates, but he compared to his frontrunner status nationally and what he thought he was, the amount of votes the place he thought he was in again, Iowa. It was a disappointment, and he claimed it was a disappointment, and he's probably not going to do too well in New Hampshire either, which is true. So that's because he can't appeal to Iowa and New Hampshire voters. So he went down in polling because he lost his momentum. People started thinking, I don't know about Joe Biden, man. He might not be able to win. And so because of that, he went down. Now, Pete Buttigieg, since February 3rd, February 3rd, he was at 6.4%. Now he's at 8.3%. So not too much of a surge, but a surge nevertheless, because he did win Iowa, which is going to give him some momentum. And people were talking about the fact that candidates will get momentum or lose momentum depending on how they do in certain states. I didn't really agree with it, honestly, because I don't really think somebody would vote for somebody just because they did well in one of the states. But it actually is true, because clearly Joe Biden went far down, and Bernie Sanders might actually pass him tomorrow or sometime soon. They haven't updated polling for today, so he might even pass him today. We just don't know about it. So Joe Biden has gone down. Hopefully Bernie will pass him, and people have just gone up. So that's probably because of the fact that he, of course, won Iowa caucus, at least with the delegate count. We have to remember that Bernie still won the popular vote. Speaking of Bernie, I didn't notice this before because it's pretty minor, but since February 3rd, he went up by 1%. It isn't too much, but he was on a bit of a decline, but he went up by 1%. So at the same time, Joe Biden goes down, Pete Buttigieg goes up. So still, their momentum kind of shifted because of how well they did. Let's go to New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Maximum. Okay, so, of course, blue is Bernie, purple is Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg surged because he won the Iowa caucus, but he's begun to, lose his momentum. Bernie has also surged, probably because of the fact that he won the popular vote in Iowa caucus, and he also generally does well in New Hampshire. We saw this in 2016. He won it by a pretty comfortable margin. Joe Biden has gone down. Amy Klobuchar has gone up. The deal with Amy Klobuchar is that she is at 6th place nationally. Hold on, let me just pull it up right now. 5th or 6th place nationally. Okay, so she is in 6th place nationally, but she got 5th in Iowa, which is already good for her. Of course, when you compare it to the her national polling status. And also, nationally, she's at 4%, but in the Iowa caucus, she got 12. So, it looks pretty good for her. That's probably why she surged. So, summary of this video. The Iowa Democratic Party messed up because they didn't test out their app before they started reporting the results, so it was delayed by 4 days. Pete Buttigieg won the delegate count. Bernie Sanders won the popular vote. Elizabeth Warren got 3rd place. Joe Biden got a disappointing 4th when he expected to get 2nd, and Amy Klobuchar got 5th. Everybody else was 1% or below. So that has clearly shifted their polling status because Pete Buttigieg has definitely surged a bit. Bernie has surged a bit. Biden has come crashing down. So I do feel kind of bad for him, honestly. I usually don't. But, when will I make a video on the 8th debate? Well, I'll probably make it today or tomorrow or sometime soon. I'm talking about the winners and losers of the debate. The award ceremony, basically. So, I did make a video on the last debate, and I don't feel too inclined to make it this time because For some reason, ever since the sixth debate, I don't know if it's just me, but the debates just aren't really fun anymore. It might be because of the fact I've seen every single one live, and every time you see it, less, not as many things happen because all the new whoa moments pop up in the first few. The later debates, oh, I've seen this, I know what each candidate's about, so it isn't as interesting. So that means I probably will make a couple highlight videos in this debate, the eighth one, of course. I definitely will make an award ceremony video for it, but with the highlights, at least one, there'll definitely be a couple, but it's certainly decreased from the last one where it had like 3 highlights, 4 highlights, because there just wasn't really too much interesting in this debate or the last one. So see you guys later, and bye.